Oh my goodness, South Walton can be so confusing. You've got 30A, Miramar Beach, Sandestin. How do you figure all of these beaches out? There are 16 different beaches and resorts all along the way. So today we're going to look at a map and we're going to straighten it all out. So let's get going. Hi, I'm Debbie Wooley with Wooley Luxury Properties here in the beautiful Destin to 30A area. We talk about everything Destin to 30A on this channel, so hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. Now today we are going to talk about South Walton. South Walton is very confusing when you first are trying to understand all the little beach communities. There are 16 different beaches, well, they're beach neighborhoods, and there are so many different resorts in all of these areas. So here, the local and tourists call the South Walton area SoWal. So it's S-O-W-A-L. And SoWal is made up of all the little beach communities and neighborhoods that go along South Walton, because Walton County actually goes way up to Definiak Springs, and those are much more residential versus vacation and resort areas. So today we're just going to talk about SoWal, and we're going to begin where it begins in Miramar Beach, and it goes all the way down to Inlet Beach just before you get to Panama City. So South Walton beaches, or SoWal, starts in Miramar and goes to Inlet. So in Miramar Beach we have Miramar Beach proper, which are the Old Scenic 98, all the beaches along Old Scenic 98, all the beach bars, the darling little beach bars that are right on the sand. You've got Surf Hut, Whale's Tail, Pompano Joe's, all of these little beach bars and restaurants that are on the sand on Scenic 98. On the other side of Scenic 98 you have all kinds of condos and little shops and things to do on that side of 98. So Scenic 98 is a very busy place. There is a huge public beach, regional public beach access. When we say regional, it means they're larger, they have bathrooms, they're very well thought out, and the county built those for public beach access. So it has a very nice public beach access down at the end by Pompano Joe's. And then it has a boardwalk that goes all the way down Scenic 98. Now, Miramar Beach also has great retail. So retail therapy around here is excellent if you need some retail therapy. We have Silver Sands Premium Outlet Mall. So all kinds of premium stores have their outlets at this mall. It's right here on Big 98, or what we call US 98. US 98 is here, Scenic 98 is here on the beach. So this is on US 98, and then about 2 miles to the east we have Grand Boulevard, which has the very nice stores. They aren't really shops because it's things like Lululemon and Pottery Barn and J. Jill and all kinds of stores. Lots of nice high-end restaurants. So we have Emerald's Coastal Cuisine, we have Fleming's, we have a P.F. Chang's, we have Tommy Bahama's restaurant, we have Tina Laredo. So there's plenty of places to eat. So now, getting back to Miramar Beach, we include Sandestin as part of Miramar Beach and Topsail as part of Miramar Beach. So the three really nice resorts in Miramar Beach are Hidden Dunes Beach and Tennis Resort. It's a smaller 27-acre type resort, well known for its gated community, well known for its tennis program and private beaches. Beautiful place. The next is Sandestin. It is huge. It's like 2,400 acres. And it has golf courses and tennis, and then on the bay, and it has tons of condos on the beach. It has rental and non-rental condos on the beach. And then when you go across to the bayside, you have the Baytown Wharf. There's so much to do at the Baytown Wharf. The kids love it, the teenagers love it, and families love it. There's a big entertainment section where where the kids can play. They can do zip lines and play different games and just all kinds of fun recreational kind of things. And then all along the marina, it's a big marina with big beautiful boats, and you can walk all around out there. But all along the marina are different restaurants and great fresh seafood and pizza and all kinds of things. And then there's lots of retail in the Baytown Wharf area. So Sandestin is both on the north and the south side of Miramar Beach. So the north side is over on the bay, and the south side, of course, is on the Gulf. Now, if you go one more resort to the east, we're still in Miramar Beach. It's called Topsail Beach and Racquet Club, another big tennis place, but it has great condos on the beach. It's got great swimming pools, great amenities. It is a beautiful place, and it also has the Ocean Club restaurant, which is fantastic. Now let's move on to Dune Allen. So as we go east, we're going to go down 98, and then we're going to turn at the very beginning of 30A. That's where 30A begins, and it's about 4 miles from Miramar Beach, so from the end of Miramar Beach. So we get to Dune Allen, and Dune Allen is a very natural, very well-preserved type place. There are not a lot of high-rise condos or anything like that. Lots of single-family homes, beautiful beaches. They've built 2 regional beach accesses in Dune Allen, and so it's very easy to enjoy their beaches, and their beaches are really wide, really beautiful. There are a few condos in Dune Allen, but it's also known very much for all of the natural amenities it has. It's just got beautiful dune lakes. I think there might be 5 there, dune lakes. And then there are some great restaurants. So you have Stinky's Fish Camp, which is the most popular restaurant there. And then a little further down, you have Elmo's. So Dune Allen is a great place to go with no commercialization. If they don't have shops and they don't have retail, they don't have any of that stuff. Great restaurants, great beach houses. And the beach houses are so cute because some of them are the old school cinder block type beach houses. And then some of them are the big, beautiful new construction beach houses where they've torn an old one down and built a new one. So it is a great place. So as you're driving down 30A, the first place you're going to come to is Dune Allen. Now, again, heading east, we are just going to go probably less than 1.5 miles, and you will be in Gulf Place. Gulf Place is a thing now, but it didn't used to be. So it has been built up in the recent years, and it has a town center with all of these little galleries, like art galleries. So the artists come there and have these little booths, I guess you would call them. So they're like little booths, and they display all of their artistic things, whether it's jewelry, paintings, pottery, whatever. And they're there all the time showing what they make. And you can buy things right there in the town center. Now around the town center, more towards the street, 30A being here and 393 being here, they have all kinds of restaurants. So you have coffee shops, you have the Perfect Pig, you have Pizza by the Sea, and right across from that is where the fabulous regional beach access has been built. There's 2 of them, but the one that's right across the street from Gulf Place is wonderful. It's got all kinds of parking. You've got bathrooms and showers. It even has an observation deck where you can go up and do all your selfies and Instagram things. When you get to the top of this, it's a panoramic view of the Gulf. It is just beautiful. And the most noted restaurant in Gulf Place is called Shunk Gully. Shunk Gully has the best sweet tea chicken fingers you have ever tasted. It's wonderful, but it's a neat atmosphere. It's a bar. They serve fresh oysters. They have a nice bar where a lot of people sit at the bar. The restaurant is open air, so they have all the breezes coming in from the Gulf. They have music playing. They have big screen TVs for sports. It is always crowded, but there's a big place. So now during COVID, they've opened up downstairs, so there has all kinds of seating outside, downstairs, upstairs. And then you have the Shunk Pavilion, which is just a big green space where it's like where they have concerts and all kinds of festivals there. So when you're at Shunk Gully, you're at a place. It feels like you're at a restaurant, but also more like a park atmosphere or a partying atmosphere. It's really nice, and people gather there all day and night. So Shunk Gully in Gulf Place is the place to be. Now, as far as housing and vacation rentals, they have condos all in Gulf Place and they have single family home. So it's a very, very popular place for people to stay. It's so easy to get down to the beach. Even if you're staying further back on 393, all you do is just walk down 393 and you're right there at the beach. So next we're going to come to Blue Mountain Beach. Blue Mountain Beach is named Blue Mountain Beach for two reasons. One are these beautiful blue lupine wildflowers that grow all over the dunes in Blue Mountain. So it's very pretty when they're in bloom. And then the mountain part of the name comes from the fact that Blue Mountain is the highest elevation in all of South Walton County. Well, all of Walton County, but of course South Walton. So Blue Mountain got its name from the flowers and the elevation. But Blue Mountain has so much to offer. It has all kinds of single family homes that are great vacation rentals. Very popular place for vacationing. And then it does have some condos that are super nice. Now you have Redfish Village, which has a lot of different shops and restaurants. And one of the restaurants that are very well known is Redfish Tacos. And the tacos are regular tacos, but also seafood tacos. And some people say they're the best seafood tacos on the Emerald Coast. I love them. The food there is great. They have live music. They have a great happy hour. So it's a really fun place to go to Redfish Village and Redfish Tacos. And if you're just seafooded out and you want something different, you can go to Blue Maple and get barbecue. So that it's a smokehouse. So they actually smoke seafood, but they also smoke all the traditional barbecue. So you can get brisket and pork and ribs and all of the different things that you would typically think about in barbecue. Now Blue Mountain has great beaches and they have 2 public beach accesses, so no problem getting to the beach in Blue Mountain. Next we come to one of the oldest beach areas or neighborhoods in South Walton. It's called Greyton Beach. Very funky, very eclectic. As a matter of fact, their motto is nice dogs, strange people. It is very, very diverse. There are all kinds of people that hang out in Greyton Beach. Greyton Beach is really, really nice. The beaches are just beautiful. What's amazing about them is if you have a permit, you can drive on the beach. And they have what they call beach launch. So you can beach launch your boat, your sailboat, your fishing boat right from the beach into the Gulf and go fishing or go sailing or whatever it is you want to do. So it's really interesting because when you go to the beach at Greyton, you'll just see a car parked there like the old tailgate type things with the back of the car open and people having coolers in there and everybody sits around the car. So that's really different. That's the only beach here that is like that. But it's beautiful. They have gorgeous homes. It used to just be all these old cinder block homes with the big old curly oaks all around them, and it was real natural, and it still is very natural, but now they've taken some of those homes and just built these huge vacation homes. So you can have a huge home in Greyton Beach and right next door could be a little cinder block home or a trailer. So it's very, very diverse. One of the things about Greyton that is so iconic is called the Red Bar. Now, if you haven't heard of the Red Bar, it is an old bar. It's a dive type bar. It's very unusual. When you go inside, it's got like red velvet sofas and tables over here, a stage for live music. It is one of the most popular places down here. People always want to go to Red Bar and always want to go buy a t-shirt from the Red Bar store. Well, what happened was a couple of years ago, the Red Bar burnt down, and it was just like, it was all over the news. People all over the world that were familiar with the Red Bar were so worried about it. But you know what? They built it right back, and I have been there to see it. It is just like it used to be, just in the exact same place. It's got all the same feel and look on the inside. It's the Red Bar. And Red Bar serves all kinds of really, really good food. And of course, good drinks, and people sometimes wait in line 2 hours just to go into the Red Bar. And so you see these lines down the street for the Red bar, but the line itself is a party, so it's not like anybody's miserable. Everybody's just hanging out waiting to get their chance to go into the red bar, and they have great crab cakes. Now, if you don't want to wait in line for the red bar, there are plenty of other options that you can choose. One is the Hurricane Oyster Bar. A lot of people love to go there, and as you're walking down the street, you see people sitting there and you see people waiting for the red bar. It's just a really fun atmosphere. There are all kinds of shops, and a lot of the shops are local artists. So the local artists have their artwork in these shops, and you can buy it and take it home or whatever. Now, further up from Grayton by 30A, there is another little shopping area. It has AJ's restaurant, which is very popular, but right in front of that on 30A, they have the general store. So right on 30A, they have the general store and then different shops in there. So they have a paddleboard store. They also have one of my favorite, I guess you would call it a lifestyle store. It's got furniture and pillows and beautiful, beautiful things. It is one of my favorite interior stores, and it's called Bose. So Greyton Beach has all kinds of interesting things to look at. It's really worth going there. So whether you're going to go and stay in a vacation rental at Greyton Beach, or you just want to ride your bike there or take a stroll through there, it is a fun place to go, and there's always something new to see in Greyton Beach. Next, we go along the 30A, and we are at Watercolor. Watercolor is totally different than Greyton Beach. Watercolor is one of the urban plan communities. So it's got beautiful, beautiful, big homes, and the homes are great for like multi-family vacations or multi-generational vacations. All the homes are built with huge porches and screen porches. They all have metal roofs. It is absolutely beautiful. Not only is Watercolor beautiful, it is huge. It's about 499 acres, I believe, over 1,100 homes. So there's all types of different homes. I told you about the large single-family homes. They also have condos, and then it has an inn, the Watercolor Inn, which is fabulous. It has 60 rooms, and it's right on the Gulf. So Watercolor has so many amenities. They've just done a huge expansion of the Watercolor Club. They built 3 beautiful pools with tiered decking, all kinds of restaurants on the Gulf. As you go to the Watercolor Club, you are sitting in pools and looking at the Gulf. It is gorgeous. And then the Watercolor Inn has a fabulous restaurant called Fish Out of Water, or FOOW. So if you see the sign FOOW, that's Fish Out of Water. One of the other cool amenities that they have at Watercolor is Camp Watercolor for kids. It's very family oriented. They have a playground, it has a lazy river through it. It's got all kinds of pools, and there's a soccer field if you want to play soccer. I mean, there's so much there. And this is all contained within Watercolor. Then if you just want to go out and ride your bike or go for a walk, there are green spaces everywhere, and the landscaping is fabulous. They have like a butterfly garden, and they have a natural area, and then they'll have a big green manicured space with all kinds of perennials and annuals. It's so pretty. It's right on one of the best coastal dune lakes and the biggest western lake. And so you can get paddle boards and kayaks and go out on the lake. There's just so much to do at Watercolor. You really would never even have to leave the resort if you didn't want to. As far as food, I told you about Fish Out of Water. There are all kinds of other shops and restaurants in the town center. And one of them is the wine bar. You'll see all the tables set up when you go in Watercolor. You can't miss it. All the tables are set up, and people are sitting out there drinking wine at all different times of day and night, but they have a great happy hour. It's a real gathering place, and they serve pizza from a real pizza oven. It's really good, so you can drink wine and eat wood-fired pizza. It's really, really good. Now, Watercolor and Seaside are so close to each other, you can literally walk to Seaside in 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, there are places in the back of Watercolor, when I say the back of Watercolor, I meant back in the neighborhoods, where there's a trail that goes right into the back of Seaside. So you can ride your bike or walk there. Watercolor also has lots of tennis. It does not have its own golf course, but it's a St. Joe's property, so owners in Watercolor can join the St. Joe's Club. That's for a whole nother video. St. Joe's Club has so much to offer, but it is a St. Joe's property. Now, let's move on and go to Seaside. So, Seaside, hugely iconic, beautiful little neighborhood. All these little pastel houses with cobblestone streets. And this is where Jim Carrey's The Truman Show was filmed, if you are familiar with that. And it has a town square that is the center of all the activity at Seaside. And in that area, you have all these shops that are in kind of a semicircle around a huge amphitheater. And the amphitheater has live bands, they have concerts, they have movie night for kids. Every Saturday they have a farmer's market where everybody gathers and goes about to see what everybody's selling. And then on the 30A side, just behind the amphitheater on 30A itself is Airstream Road, where they have the Airstreams all lined up in a line along 30A, and they all serve different food. So you can go to one that serves grilled cheese, another one that serves barbecue, Mexican, whatever you want. So there's a whole row of these Airstream bus type restaurants and food truck type deals. And there are tables set out so you can actually sit down. You don't have to just stand there. You can get your food, sit down, and you're sitting right on 30A, so everybody's people watching. Their dogs are with them, and all through the area they'll have little stations where they'll have dog bowls with water in them for dogs to get something to drink. If you cross right over 30A, you're right there, still at Seaside, but in a whole nother little section where they have shops and restaurants and all that. That is where you'll find Bud and Alys, which is one of the places you have to go if you are going to visit Seaside. You need to go to Bud and Alys. They have a restaurant. You can go inside of a restaurant. They have a huge patio that overlooks the Gulf. Right above Bud and Alys, you can order food there and have drinks, but you watch the sunset, and then right at sunset, the tradition is to ring the bell, big old bell, and very loud bell. Everybody cheers. So it's a real neat place and fun place to go. So that's Bud and Alys. And Bud and Alys now, they have opened a pizza place and a taco place. So that's all right in that whole shopping area. And one of the favorites for all kids, if you've ever asked a child who's been to Seaside, where's their favorite place to eat, they're going to say Pickles. So Pickles is a cute little open-air restaurant that serves the traditional kids' food, you know, like chicken fingers and hamburgers and all the things that adults love an excuse to have to eat. So you get hot dogs, grilled cheese, hamburgers, chicken fingers. It's great. So Pickles is darling, and all of the shops, of course, sell all of the iconic Seaside wear, like t-shirts and hats and all of the things that most people like to leave Seaside with. So that is Seaside, and of course they have all kinds of the beach entrance to the beach at Seaside, which is a private beach. You enter through these pavilions. You just walk across the road and go through a pavilion, and there's many of the different pavilions. So it's a great place to stay, great place to rent a house and vacation. You can even stay in the town center above the shops. It's like just two adults and you don't need a big house or something like that. It's really fun to do that because you can sit out on the porch and just watch over the whole town center and see everything that's happening during the night or whatever. It's really quite fun. I've done that, and I loved it there. It was just a different way to stay than just staying in the houses tucked back in the neighborhood. So Seaside is great fun, and if you have never been, you really need to go. So as you bike down or walk down and you leave Seaside and you're headed east, you're going to come to Seagrove. Some people call it Old Seagrove. It's been there for a very long time. It's a collection of a lot of different old houses and newer homes. It has a few condominiums, but mostly homes. And Seagrove is where one of the very first restaurants, real upscale restaurant on 30A, was built and is still there today, and it's called Cafe 30A. People love Cafe 30A. And another fabulous place that you need to eat at Seagrove, or Old Seagrove, is called Seagrove Village Market. It's a super casual place. You go there for lunch or for dinner. You can sit outside in picnic tables. You can sit inside in little booths. They have great seafood. They have great atmosphere. It's always packed. People just love their food, and they have fabulous collard greens. I don't know why, but they do. And then for nightlife, if you wanted to go to the old Florida Fish House, it's got live music, great happy hours, great food, and sushi. And that is a place that people stay late into the night. So Old Florida Fish House is a great place to go when you're in Seagrove or Old Seagrove. The vacation homes range from old school beach houses to beautiful contemporary, fantastic homes. So there are all kinds of accommodations in Old Seagrove. Great place to go. Our next neighborhood on our tour is called Watersound. Now, Watersound is another development by St. Joe. So you can join the St. Joe's Club, as we talked about when we were talking about Watercolor, and that's a whole nother story, but Watersound is part of St. Joe's. But Watersound itself, when you enter, it's a gated community, and as you enter, you see these beautiful, beautiful homes. They are fantastic. And then once you are there and you're walking to the beach, you approach the beach through these huge, wide boardwalks. They're very wide and very windy, but they wind all over these beautiful dunes until you get to the beach. So it's very, very scenic. It almost makes you feel so mellow before you even get to the beach because you just stroll down these boardwalks. They're beautiful. And along with Watersound, you have Watersound West. Watersound West has its own separate entrance. It is part of Watersound, but it's a St. Joe's property as well. But it is totally different than Watersound. This is a more quiet little neighborhood with all kinds of beautiful beach homes to rent. It's only single-family homes, no condominiums. Watersound does have condominiums, and it has the Watersound Inn, so that Watersound proper has homes, inn, and condos. Watersound West is strictly homes. It's got beautiful amenities, lots of green space. It has a boardwalk that is amazing. You walk down this boardwalk to the beach, very much like Watersound, but very different from Watersound. I don't know how to tell you, but it's a whole different when you walk down this boardwalk, you walk over a dune lake, and you walk through the woods, and then there you are at this gorgeous beach. The beach is just beautiful. It's not very densely populated. They do have a beach service there, so you don't have to drag your chairs and umbrellas and all that, but it's just a different feel, the beach at Watersound West. It's very, very natural and not very populated. I don't know how to say that any different, but when you're there, you don't feel like you're in a crowd. Now, when you leave Watersound West, you're still in Watersound, but you come to an area called Prominence, built by D.R. Horton. But the thing about Prominence that makes it so interesting is they have a relationship with St. Joe's, so you can be a member of the St. Joe's Club if you own in Prominence. Now, Prominence has the center of all of the activity for Watersound, and that is called the Hub. The Hub is a town center with shops and restaurants, but it has a huge open air area with a jumbotron, huge jumbotron. They broadcast all the football games on it. They have bands that sometimes are up on the stage in front of the jumbotron. They have all kinds of natural area for the kids to play. So you could literally be sitting there watching a SEC football game, sitting there drinking a beer or sitting at a table having a sandwich or a piece of pizza. Your kids are playing in front of you. It's just so much fun. And their pools are fantastic. The amenities at Prominence are beautiful. So that ends our little area of Watersound. Now as we drive further east, we get to my favorite, most beautiful architectural wonder in the world, and it's called Alys Beach. As you arrive at Alys Beach, you see these structures, these white structures on the side called butteries. So Alys Beach was influenced by Bermuda and the architecture in Bermuda. And in Bermuda, they have these things called butteries. And in these butteries, before refrigeration, they kept their milk and butter and things that needed to stay cool. So as you approach Alys, now you'll know that those things are called butteries, and they're on the east side and the west side of Alys Beach. So as you enter Alys Beach, you see these beautiful stark white buildings. Everything in Alys Beach is stark white. The facades are all white, and all of the landscape is the beautiful palm trees lining the roads and beautiful manicured hedges. So it's the white and the green, the continuation of all of that look throughout all of Alys Beach that makes it so beautiful. There's sculptures throughout Alys Beach. There are beautiful green spaces. There's a beautiful open green space where the kids can play, and they have a splash pad there for the kids. There are so many things to do in Alys Beach. Of course, the beach is just beautiful, and the approach to the beach is just gorgeous. So you have to go through Alys Beach and see the architecture and see how beautiful it is. They do not allow any golf carts, so don't try to go running around there in your golf cart. You can ride bikes, you can walk, and you can drive down the main 38 road that goes through Alys Beach. Now they have fantastic restaurants. They've got George and Calizza's, and if you wanted to go to happy hour in the afternoon, you could go to Neat. But Alys Beach is a wonderful place, and there are plenty of vacation rentals in Alys Beach. It's a very calm atmosphere, a very serene atmosphere. So even just walking through there gives you such a feeling of zen. It's very zenful. Even when you notice the landscaping and all the different little interesting architectural, they have a whole area that are nothing but these stone-like turtles. And they're just so beautiful and white. And then the green landscaping they planted around them, it's just beautiful. You have to go there. I love Alys Beach. And when I just want to go for a long, long walk, many times I'll just go there and walk and walk and walk all through the neighborhoods and all through the little parks and green spaces. It is fantastic. So the next area we're going to come to is Seacrest Beach. Seacrest Beach is very busy, very bustling, bicycles everywhere, strollers everywhere, people everywhere. It is a very busy place. Has a beautiful, beautiful beach. It is known for two of the largest pools on all of 30A. So one is at the condominium complex called High Point Resort. It has a beautiful, huge pool. And then the other is at Seacrest Villas neighborhood. You'll know Seacrest Villas neighborhood because it has this huge oversized white lifeguard chair at the entrance. So when you're driving down 30A and you see this big lifeguard chair, huge, you'll know that's Seacrest Villas. And in there, they have a pool. I can't even remember how big it is. It is so big that people take drone shots and aerial shots of it all the time. It's like the biggest pool I've ever seen in my life. Seacrest Villa is a very large neighborhood with lots and lots of vacation homes, and these vacation homes are money machines. They rent so well because Seacrest is so perfectly situated. You have Alys on the west and Rosemary on the east, and you can get to both of them by foot or by bike. It's just perfectly located, and so it stays booked up. I mean, people love those vacation homes. So, of course, it has a little town center with little stores and restaurants and shops and all of that. So one of the newest places they have in Seacrest Beach is called Beach and Brew. It carries all these craft beers from all these local breweries and breweries outside of the area, but it's a place where locals are gathering and visitors are gathering, and they say, come bond with a brew at Beach and Brew. So I think that's pretty cute saying that they have, and very inviting, makes you want to go there and just hang out. So Beach and Brew, but they have all kinds of shops and different things to do in Seacrest Beach. So Seacrest Beach is definitely not the calm, laid-back place that Alys Beach is. It is a bustling place. So very family oriented. So as you leave Seacrest Beach, you just a short distance and you're in Rosemary Beach. Rosemary Beach is gorgeous. It's another one of the planned communities, very similar to something like Seaside, but very different than Seaside as well. It has like cobblestone streets with the main street going straight from the town center all the way to the Gulf. That street is lined with brick sidewalks, and it has all the boutiques and shops and restaurants, people sitting in tables all along the main street having meals and coffee and different things. So it's very open air, very community oriented, lots of people around, lots of children around. And as you go towards the Gulf, they have these green spaces where people gather, and they have benches, and it's kind of like a park. So you'll see people playing frisbee there, kids just doing cartwheels and playing. It's just a very open area, and they have several of those all through Rosemary. Headed back towards the town center, you have all kinds of restaurants and shops, and they have condos that you can rent. They also have plenty of homes you can rent. It's got tennis, of course, Rosemary does, but it's also known for its fine dining. It has some of the best restaurants. It's got Edwards, it has got Pescadas. Rosemary also has a lot of casual dining, of course. So you've got Cowboy Kitchen, you've got Wild Olives, you have Summer Kitchen Cafe, just so many options. And then it has one of the nicest hotel called the Pearl. And if you've never heard of the Pearl, you should really check it out. It's a very romantic hotel with a lot of rooftop dining and casual places to sit on the rooftop and see all of the panoramic views of the Gulf. It's very, very nice, the Pearl. So if you wanted to go for a long walk through Rosemary Beach, you would pass all of the different green areas, and they have sculptures from artists from all over the world. So it's really interesting and beautiful to look at. It's very shaded, a lot of trees. So it's a really nice place to just enjoy green space. So at the end of your walk, you could try out one of the rooftop bars that overlooks the Gulf and the beautiful vistas. You've got Pescadas and Havanas, and that is a wonderful way to end your day in Rosemary Beach. So our last neighborhood on 30A as you're going east is called Inlet Beach. It is also the fastest growing area on 30A. So Inlet Beach is like old meets new. You've got all these older homes that are being torn down to build these big, beautiful homes, and it is phenomenal. Every time I go and visit Inlet Beach, there's something else new and other construction going on. So it is a happening place. Because it is so busy and the demographics are growing so quickly, they have built the largest regional public beach access on all of Walton County is at Inlet Beach, and it is beautiful. And they have also built the Walton County Artificial Reef Association is building artificial reefs up and down the Emerald Coast. This is the fourth one. It's called the Cobia Reef. So it's like 97 of these artificial reefs just offshore in the shape of a fish, of a cobia. So if you were doing a drone video or you were flying over, it would look like a cobia fish. That's the idea, which cobia is one of our most popular sport fishes. So it's a cobia reef, and it attracts all this marine life. So if you wanted to paddleboard off of the Gulf and just go to this reef, you could easily reach it by paddleboard, kayak, or even snorkel out there. So the whole idea is to create these great marine artificial reefs to attract all of these natural things for people to snorkel out and see and observe all the beautiful marine life. So I think that's so cool. Now, as far as restaurants, you have all the traditional old restaurants, older type restaurants that have always been part of Inlet Beach. So you have like Shades, and they built a donut hole there, and you have Big Bad Breakfast, which is fantastic. But then they have some of the higher end restaurants too. So you have Cube 30A and some different Italian restaurants. It's just a growing place with lots and lots of restaurants and things to do there. A lot of retail moving in at the intersection of 30A and 98. So as 30A meets 98 again on the east side, there is all kinds of explosion of things going up. So you have interior shops and furniture stores and flooring stores, all to support all the growth that's happening on 30A in Inlet Beach. So that concludes our road trip through the South Walton neighborhoods and beaches. I'll be making more in-depth videos on each of these little neighborhoods, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the little bell so you'll be notified as soon as each of them are posted. Until next time, I hope to see you at the beach.